Xavier Chaveria, the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in of God's moral law, the Ten Commandments, God's law of love written on stone in Exodus 24:12, Exodus 31:18, and Deuteronomy 9:10. Your first 4 commandments are your love for God, and your next 6 commandments are your love for one another. We're going to be going over the contrast between the moral law, the Ten Commandments, and the ceremonial law. Here we go. The moral law, the Ten Commandments, was written on stone in Exodus 24:12, Exodus 31:18, and Deuteronomy 9 and 10. The ceremonial law, the sacrificial system, was written in a book, 2 Chronicles 35:12. Now the next one. The moral law, the Ten Commandments, was spoken by God in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 12 and 13. And the ceremonial law, the sacrificial system, was spoken by Moses in Leviticus 1:1-3, chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. And the moral law, the Ten Commandments, stands forever. They'll never be done away with. And that's in Psalms 111, verses 7 and 8. The sacrificial system was nailed to the cross in Colossians 2:14-17. So the sacrificial system was nailed to the cross. We don't need to be sacrificing animals. They keep claiming that they want to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem out there. That would be in vain, because we don't need to sacrifice animals no more, because Jesus Christ did that for us on the cross already. He was the Lamb of God. That's why he was called the Lamb of God. Okay, let's go back to the Ten Commandments over here. The moral law, the Ten Commandments, gives us the knowledge of sin. Without God's moral law, we wouldn't know what sin was. And that's in Romans 3:20, Romans 7:7. The ceremonial law, the sacrificial system, was given to us because of sin. So the ceremonial law was given to us because of sin. And the moral law gives us the knowledge of sin, and the ceremonial law was given to us because of sin. And that's in Galatians 3:19. Okay, the moral law, the Ten Commandments, was called the royal law of liberty. And that's in James chapter 2, verses 8-12. And the ceremonial law was called the law contained in ordinances, Ephesians 2:15. And the moral law, the Ten Commandments, that's going to judge us all in the end, judges all men, and that's James chapter 2, verses 10-12. And the ceremonial law judges no man, Colossians 2:14-17. The ceremonial law does not judge us, but the moral law does. Okay, and this is how important God's moral law was, the Ten Commandments. They were put inside of the Ark of the Covenant. That's in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 4, and Exodus chapter 40, verse 20. So the moral law was put inside of the Ark of the Covenant. And ceremonial law was put on the side of the Ark of the Covenant. Not inside, but on the side of it. And that's in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 24-26. And the next one is the moral law, the Ten Commandments, is not grievous. In other words, they're not a pain to keep. If you love Christ, you're going to want to obey and walk in his moral law, to obey the Ten Commandments. They're not grievous. And that's 1 John 5:3. And the ceremonial law was contrary to us, Colossians 2:14-17. And the moral law, the Ten Commandments, is spiritual. It's spirit. So if you want to walk in the Spirit of Christ, you want to obey all the Ten Commandments, including the fourth commandment, which says the seventh day is the Sabbath. And that's in Romans 7:14. And the ceremonial law, the sacrificial system was carnal. It was worldly of nature. And that's in Deuteronomy 9 and 10. So that's it, the difference between the 10 commandments and the ceremonial law. So the ceremonial law was done away with at the cross, and the 10 commandments stand forever. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. It's Xavier Echeverria, the repairer of the breach, and have an amazing Sabbath.